Back again with another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G, and today we're gonna react to why Michael Jackson and Prince had beef. Here's why.
Sometimes in sports, music, and entertainment, an era will develop where we see two icons operating in the same space, both at the height of their careers. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird went at it at basketball in the 80s and were at the top of their class. Jay-Z and Nas were faces of the late 90s and early 2000s hip-hop scene. You were either a fan of one or the other, but never both. The 1980s saw pop music at its absolute best, as Michael Jackson and Prince were both at the top of their game, battling for supremacy in the music business. While Prince was the dark rebel who had the critical admiration, but would often fall short of Jackson's overwhelming popularity and the numbers his music would generate. It's been reported that when Michael took home Grammy Awards for Thriller, Prince wanted his next project to do the same thing. When Prince won an Oscar,
Also cause he wanted to start doing movies and stuff. That was the same time around when he did his movie Purple Rain. So yeah, that makes sense.
For Purple Rain, Michael desperately wanted to be successful in film too. They watched each other's career closely as their own. The two both were born in the Midwest in the summer of 1958. Both had the same influences: James Brown, Sly Stone, and Stevie Wonder. Both were extremely private and rarely participated in interviews. The competition between the two seemed never-ending. They were both aware of where they stood in the industry, but more importantly, they knew where each other stood as well. They knew about the other person's albums, tours, awards won, and records broken.
So they were battling each other in a sense. They knew when. Let me read this.
They knew about the other person's albums.
Yeah, he said that they knew each other's albums when they hit the charts on the Billboard. Says that Jackson's Bad album is one of the two albums where five singles topped Hot 100. 5 of Prince singles topped the charts, and 14 of the songs hit top 10. Okay, so they were battling.
Tours, awards won, and records broken. They both did their best to pass one another in an attempt to see who was superior after all. The debate on Michael versus Prince can get just as heated as Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, Tupac versus Biggie. Even though it's a fun debate to have amongst each other, even Michael and Prince knew who they were competing with. There was still a sense of respect, appreciation, and sometimes even admiration for one another, which makes the beef between the two of them all more fascinating. Here's inside the rivalry between Prince and Michael Jackson. According to Vibe magazine, journalist Cynthia Horner first met Michael in 1976 and immediately realized that he would be a difficult interview due to his value of privacy. Horner noted that.
Alright, so here's when we get a deep dive into, he's about to state everything on why. I'm guessing. So
That this is something Michael shared with Prince. I would give Michael copies of the magazines, and he would see certain people in the book and ask me lots of questions about the artists he was interested in. After that, I started to let Michael listen to some of the Prince music I had, and he was intrigued. At that point, I realized that there was somewhat of a rivalry developing. Michael had been in the business longer, so naturally he didn't want to get replaced by the newcomer. One of the first well-documented accounts of their rivalry happened on August 20th, 1983 at the Beverly Theater, Hollywood. Both Michael Jackson and Prince attended a James Brown concert and sat in the audience. Thriller had been released just 9 months prior, making Michael Jackson one of the biggest stars on the planet. Michael would bring home a record-breaking 8 Grammy Awards in one night for the album. Meanwhile, a month before Michael released Thriller, Prince dropped his 5th studio album, 1999, containing the classic singles like Little Red Corvette and the song in which the entire album is named after. 1999 would come nowhere close to Thriller in terms of popularity, but is still considered Prince's breakthrough album and one of his most influential. On that fateful
yeah, most definitely. I know that as far as them competing or whatever, they both had their accolades, but Michael's stuff was charted higher, and more of his songs were charted compared to Prince's. So
Night in August of 1983, James Brown was on stage, giving the performance of a lifetime when he spotted Michael in the audience and pleaded for him to come on stage and say something. Michael would reluctantly join Brown on stage and began singing and dancing with one of the men who influenced him. Michael even begins to dance like his idol with strong cheers coming from the audience, who is taking in every moment. In 2018, Quincy Jones, a frequent collaborator with Michael Jackson, gave a tell-all interview in GQ magazine.
Rest in peace to him. He just passed, I think, like last year. Was it last year or this year? It was like last year, I think.
Where he gave his account of what happened that night at the James Brown concert. It was just very obvious what the hell happened.
And I know that, he had a big influence on Michael's. And did he, know Prince much, or was it just, Michael? Because I know he produced for him some music, some songs, so probably helped. I know he contributed with probably some of his albums. You guys probably have to tell me. I might have. I know. Like the Thriller album, it was someone else, but I don't know the name. I might be thinking about the wrong person.
Made a damn fool out of himself. Michael went up there in 40 seconds saying, "I love you, I love you." Then they went up tempo and he did a little dance and did the moonwalk and whispered in James Brown's ear.
It was very obvious. 40 seconds.
That's how I feel you go to work.
Did the moonwalk and whispered. Wow. So I'm guessing they were both there at the same time? All of them three?
Call Prince up. I dare him to follow me. Brown walks up to the mic and says, "Give Michael a big round of applause because he just insisted that I introduce Prince." When Prince finally gets on stage, Brown follows up with, "Prince, you gotta do something." Prince grabs a guitar from a band member and begins playing. He pauses, takes off his shirt to cheers from the audience, and begins dancing with the microphone stand. After a couple moves, Prince bows.
Well, I know that, back then they probably had their, they were competing for each other's spot. But I know that later on, towards Michael's death, Prince actually, he liked Michael Jackson. He liked his music and stuff like that.
And attempts to leave the stage. However, not before completely embarrassing himself as he falls off the stage, taking a stage prop with him. He made a damn fool out of himself, didn't he? Prince told Michael he'd kill him if he showed it to anybody. Somehow the footage has ended up online for all to see. Prince was so humiliated and mortified over this fall. According to Jones, he was distraught. Prince waited outside of the venue with intentions of running Michael over. Oh yeah, he spoke to him. He waited in the limousine to try to run over him and LaToya and his mother. He knew. Michael knows shit. He said that was his intention. It's unclear if this was actually Prince's motivation. It's also unclear if Prince sat outside and waited for Michael in the first place. What is clear, though, is Michael's enjoyment of Prince's failure. Michael would later reflect on the incident. He made a fool of himself. He was a joke. People were running and screaming.
He made a fool of himself? He was a joke? People were running and screaming? Wow. That's what he had to say about Prince. I didn't even know that.
Was so embarrassed it was all on video. Fast forward to 2 years later, in December of 1985, Michael and his entourage showed up at the Samuel Goldwyn Studio in West Hollywood, where Prince was finishing up his film Under the Cherry Moon and its accompanying soundtrack album Parade.
We need a symbol that can unite us.
Advertisement. Can't even skip it. It's fine. Ads, they usually come out of nowhere, so you can't really control them.
Challenged Michael to a game of ping pong. Prince ended up getting the best of Michael in the game and ended up joking he played like Helen Keller. Jackson then began flirting with Prince's then girlfriend actress Sherilyn Fenn. Michael knows how to handle himself and didn't seem to care about the game. He started flirting with Sherilyn Fenn, who was visiting Prince in the studio. Prince was pacing, but he wasn't going to get into the game of flirting back. They said hasty goodbyes.
Wow. I did not even know that either. So, I feel like they probably had, like, their own ego, like, when it came to each other. Because they knew that, one probably thought one probably thought that they were better than each other. And they had their ego. But, hey, that's the industry. So, and that's, that's their image and who they are, their brand. So, they're two different artists. They have their own style. Two different fan bases.
In the summer of 1986, Quincy Jones set up a secret meeting between the two icons where the goal was to collaborate with them. Michael gave Prince a demo. He was interested in working with Michael, but didn't like the fact that he was in control of the entire project. Reports say that Prince felt that Michael was setting himself up to look better on screen. Prince was like, oh, he wants to punk me out on the record. What does he think I am, crazy? He couldn't get outside of himself enough to realize that it was the kind of thing that probably could have benefited both of them.
Okay, so pretty much what was stated here was, I guess Prince knew that Michael had thought he was better than him. I mean, I'm not going to compare them to. I enjoy MJ more, but I like them both. But this is what they're stating right here. Benefiting both of them, their careers, them collabing, that would be awesome. It would have been awesome to hear both of them on the record. Yeah, it didn't happen because they had, I guess, tension. So let's get back more into the video.
Enough to realize that it was the kind of thing that probably could have benefited both of them. Still, it would have forever been on Michael's video with Prince as just a guest. So that captured what the relationship couldn't be. They were like Ali versus Frazier, and the media couldn't get enough of putting these guys against each other. It was a strange summit. They're so competitive with each other that neither would give anything up. They kind of sat there checking each other out, but saying very little. It was a fascinating stalemate between two very powerful dudes.
And also, like, their fashion too. Their fashion is totally different from each other. They don't wear the same type of clothing. One stands out. I mean, they both stand out in terms of what they wear, but you know what I mean, as them having two different styles for what they wear, their fashion.
Steve Knopper, author of MJ, The Genius of Michael Jackson, interviewed over 400 people for his biography on the King of Pop. As the book was preparing for release in 2015, Esquire caught up with Knopper during promotion. Knopper further expanded on the possible rivalry between the two pop icons. Prince was doing his Vegas residency around late 2006. Michael was living in Vegas. will.i.am was a guest artist at the Prince residency, but he was also friends with Michael. So Will arranged it for Michael to be a guest in the audience at Prince's show. No one knew it really, but Prince knew it.
I did not know that will.i.am was able to meet both of them. I did not even know that. It says Prince was doing a residency in 2006. Michael was living in Vegas. will.i.am was the guest artist at Prince's residency, which is, I guess, the house. And Prince knew about Michael being a guest in the audience at the show.
There was a point during the show where Prince was playing bass and he came out in the audience with this giant bass. He knew where Michael was sitting and he walked right up to Michael and started playing bass in Michael's face, like aggressive slap bass. According to Esquire, the next morning, Will went over to Michael's house and Michael was outraged. He asked Will, why do you think Prince was playing bass in my face?
Yes. I would have asked. Honestly, I would have asked the same thing. Really, because why are you playing the guitar in my face? You're playing the bass. You're playing the bass guitar in my face. Why are you doing it? But
what you go to?
you know, I'm just here to entertain you guys. We don't know why he played the bass in Michael's face. Michael asked, but we really don't know. Let's see. Maybe we'll get an answer.
Prince has always been a meanie. He's just a big meanie. He's always been not nice to me. Everybody says Prince is this great legendary Renaissance man, and I'm just a song and dance man. But I wrote Billie Jean, and I wrote We Are the World, and I'm a songwriter too.
Hey, I'm gonna read it. Look, I'm not gonna read it out loud, but I'm gonna give a little analysis.
Hold on, it was grade school, right?
Michael said Prince was a meanie. He is a big meanie.
Yup, I did not.
I guess every single time they saw each other, they probably just didn't say much of words. And I guess that probably just
I thought you did on multiple
offended him. Like playing the bass guitar.
Damn.
I'm a song and dance man. So I'm guessing he's saying that, he doesn't do much of the instruments. But at the end of the day, he wrote these two songs that are like his biggest, Billie Jean and We Are the World. We Are the World has a big message, so he isn't wrong.
Dance man, but I wrote Billie Jean, and I wrote We Are the World, and I'm a songwriter too. In 2016, more information was revealed detailing their feud. During the writing of 1988 Moonwalker autobiography, Jackson had a few choice words regarding his rival, Prince. I don't like to be compared to Prince at all. I've proven myself since I was real little. It's not fair. He feels like I'm his opponent. I hope he changes because, boy, he's gonna get hurt. He's the type that might commit suicide for some.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, it might just be the ego. One, just, like I said, maybe Prince thought that he was just better. Or maybe he was jealous. He just thought that, Michael was topping the charts. And he was selling out, doing more than he was doing. And he was just in competition with him. That's what I see it.
In addition to these comments, Jackson also referred to Prince as competitive, one of the rudest peoples he's ever met, and someone who'd been mean and nasty to his family. Prince wasn't the only one who was competitive at his craft. According to sources, Questlove recalls spending time with Jackson and Eddie Murphy.
But they're both perfectionists. Both of them.
On the set of a music video. According to Questlove, Eddie was like, yeah man, Prince is a bad motherfucker. I'm glad I'm working with you. But another dream I have is working with him too. And I don't ever think that Mike knew the camera was on him. And he goes, yes, he's a natural genius. And then 4 beats later, Michael says, but I can beat him. Michael didn't like to be compared to Prince, and that feeling was mutual.
And that makes total sense because, I wouldn't want to be compared to no one else either. As an artist, of course I wouldn't want that either. But it makes total sense because if you think about it, Michael Jackson and Prince are two different artists. You can like one over the other, but with me, I like both because they're like my inspirations. But if I had to choose, Michael Jackson because he inspired me first, and then it was Prince.
Michael signed with Pepsi. Prince was offered Coke, but turned it down despite the money. He didn't want to be compared with Jackson in any way. Instead, he felt like he should have been compared with Miles Davis or John Coltrane. The constant back and forth between the two artists came to a head in Prince's Party Man video, which includes scenes with a chimpanzee wearing a Batman logo. In the video, Party Man gives the monkey a banana that reads "Psych." Many have speculated that these were shots taken at Michael. Because of this, Michael was allegedly upset that Prince was sending messages
I think that I didn't even know that, but the way I was looking, that could have been a subliminal message
to Michael and his chimpanzee, Bubbles, through music. Prince, on the other hand, thought it was amusing. It seems as though Prince loved getting in Michael's head. The reason why is unknown. Despite the mind games, Prince did.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna definitely, touch on. He definitely like played a lot of mind games, cause you know what I'm saying. He said that he was playing the bass guitar. He went to his party. He walked up towards Michael Jackson, and he was just playing his bass guitar in front of him. And then Michael Jackson said, "Prince is a big meanie." That's what he said. And it's just he didn't really say much to him. He just felt like he was in competition with him, and he just being mean to him. So I understand.
To have ultimate respect for Michael's talent. When Michael died on June 25, 2009, Tavis Smiley recalled talking to Prince about the morality and the general loss of Michael Jackson.
Prince cancels rehearsals and for days locked himself in his bedroom and wouldn't come out and really didn't talk to people.
Sometime later, Prince was asked about Michael's death. Prince went on to say,
That's literally what I was just talking about. During their stardom, their rise, them being big in the industry through their prime. Before Michael's last days, Prince, not even his last days, but after, Michael passed, Prince was devastated. He was sad about it. So that's what he's talking about right now.
say, it's always sad to lose someone you loved. When asked again in an interview with Rolling Stone, he said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm too close to it. Let's just say the media did its job in putting two of the most successful artists against each other throughout their entire careers, particularly in the 19.
Well, around that time, those were the two biggest artists in the world. Well, yeah, we'll just say that. And they were trying to, compete. But I feel like Prince was competing more because he was trying to be on Michael's level or try to surpass him. So yeah, that was why Michael Jackson and Prince had beef. Here's why. You guys tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming. Stay tuned to that. And yeah, Uriah out.